Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Mysterious Galaxy event. I am Nick, the Director of Events and Digital Marketer for Mysterious Galaxy. Tonight, we have a very spooky read for you and some very wonderful authors. Authors of this lovely book, Horror Hotel, Victoria Fulton and Faith McClaren. Hello!
Hello!
Happy book birthday to you two.
Thank you! Our book baby's here.
We're holding her close.
They are an award. Yes, hold it to your heart. They are an award-winning co-author duo who write edgy rom-coms and frightening horror with plenty of smooching, friendship, and movie references. Joining in conversation is Demetra Brodsky, a first-generation Greek-American and award-winning graphic designer and art director turned full-time writer. Her books include Dive Smack and Last Girls. But tonight, we are here for Horror Hotel.
Murder and mayhem.
An addictive YA horror about a group of teen ghost hunters who spend the night in a haunted LA hotel. YouTubers, ghosts, and a serial killer. Oh my. I did that myself. If you need a fast-paced and freaky read to keep you up at night, here you go. If you haven't already, you can definitely buy copies of Horror Hotel. Victoria and Faith are offering signed and or personalized book plates, so that's wonderful. Just make sure in the comments section when you buy Horror Hotel, just write if you want sign only or what your personalization will be. And lastly, before I disappear for a good while, if you have any questions you want to ask any one of our three awesome authors we have before you, go ahead and hit the Ask a Question button below and submit your question. But you know what? I'm going to disappear now and leave it up to you three. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Nick.
Bye.
Thanks for the intro.
Hello, hello.
Hi!
It's so nice to see you both. Congratulations,
So nice
first
to
and
see you.
foremost, on the release of your debut. It's always a super exciting time. And I think we should jump right into it. First of all,
Do it.
I think people are going to want to, like, who's Victoria, who's Faith, like, that way we can get that part out of the way, because since you're co-authors.
Yes.
So that's Victoria.
The blonde one.
That blonde one. And I'm Faith.
They're both blonde.
The other blonde one.
The other one.
We'll do a little.
So I loved this book. I thought it was really fast-paced and thrilling. I thought it paid a wonderful tribute to Elisa Lam. I thought that the Ghost Gang was really exciting. And I think we should dive right into what all those things are, because a lot of people who are here tonight, they haven't read this book. And so what I'd really, really love to have you do is talk about how you came up with the idea for this book, and touch a little bit on why you have the particular dedication in the book that you do.
Cool. Well, we'll start with how we got into all of this.
Yeah.
So there was a very auspicious tweet by Wendy Logia, and it was the tweet heard round the world.
We like to call it that.
Well, yeah, we call it the tweet heard round the world because in the world of publishing, she is a very big deal. And and so she had this tweet that was basically like, if you're an agented author, we underlined it's this new imprint, and we are looking for ideas that are in the horror, romance, thriller genres. And basically, like, if you have an agent, like, we'd love to hear your ideas, and we'll buy on proposal.
Yeah.
And that's
unheard of. That's crazy. Yeah, that's unheard of.
Yeah, it's kind of unheard of.
You guys need to move closer together.
Kind of. Move closer together. Sure.
Really bounce.
Yeah, like we have to like cuddle. So basically, we came up with an idea. I mean, we sat in Faith's backyard and just like talked for 2 hours until we got to an idea that we thought was, because, you know, Underline and Delacourt, they, you know, it's a very specific tonally,
Kind of
it needs
thing.
to be commercial, and it needs to, you know, reach a wide audience. So we just hashed it out until, and there's this feeling that you get, I think, when you get the idea. And we just got this, like, we both, I said it, I think, then you just went, Rebekah, or sorry, Faith are the names.
Pen names.
Was like, yeah, pen names. That's the, you know, we're getting used to this, the pen name situation. Faith was like, that's it. And then we just, in 4 days, I think. It was 4 days. 4 days. It was 11-page proposal and 42 pages of the book.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then
So once you submitted your agent submitted the proposal, and then Wendy Logia gave the green light, how long did you have to actually write the book at that time? Because I have to tell you that, and I think a lot of people who are on here that are authors know that a book selling on proposal as a debut that's a wild card. That's like, that doesn't really happen very often. So what was the timestamp for that?
Risky business.
Risky business. Yeah. So we sold it, and then and part of actually like kind of like going into this was we said, like, we can write this quickly. We can deliver this by like June. And this was in March.
Amazing. Right.
So it was, I think we actually, by the time everything got, you know, signed, sold, and delivered, it was like late March.
Late March that we got the deal, but then June 4th was the deadline. June 4th or June 6th?
June, I think it was June 4th.
It was early June.
Very early.
And then we got oh my gosh, she got us back edits in like 3 days, I think, a weekend.
I know, that's the thing, right? You're like, oh, I turned my book in. I have some time to, you know, make a cookie or make cookies or something. And they just write, sometimes they're right back on you.
I was at Roman's bookstore. Like, I was like, I'm going to go book shopping. I'm going to
take a break. No break. So we got, it was a weekend, and then we got 2 weeks to revise it, because we had a very tight turnaround. Yes. This book came out in under 10 and a half months. It was from idea to, you know, book in the world in 10 and a half months. Yeah, so that's the thing. And it's our first go around, and we wanted to meet every deadline so that we could be like, we're gonna be pro, you know.
We're like, we can do this. And
this is your reputation on the line here. This is a debut. They're gonna think I don't know what I'm doing if I miss a deadline. That's not true. They wouldn't have. But you should know for like subsequent books, you probably won't have to be under such a tight deadline. But you know, keep that fire though. You know what I mean? Like, because you know how to do it now, that's an important skill to have. So
I think we both kind of loved it on some level. Like, it was a fun experience, not an every time experience, but definitely a really fun, like, we felt like it was like making us stronger writers and partners, and exciting to do for our first book. So
yeah, and you know, in this book there's 4 POVs, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 POVs.
Yeah,
and so 5
fifth, like, POV.
Yeah,
so we have the
we're not gonna that's a spoiler, so we're gonna let that one go. But and that in and of itself is a challenge, right? Writing multiple POV. So you had like the hurdle of having to do it quickly, and then also having to do multiple POVs. How did that work for you guys as co-writers? If you don't want to tell your audience who wrote which characters, you don't have to, but there are 4 characters: Chrissy, Kiki, Chase, and Emma. And I wanted to guess who wrote who.
Okay. Oh,
can I guess? I would say that. Okay, you just say yes or no. Faith wrote Chrissy. Did you write Chrissy?
I mean, so you can guess, and then we'll tell you what happened.
You guess. You just go through, and I'm curious, and then we'll tell you.
And Kiki, and that Victoria wrote Chase and Emma. Am I wrong?
We wrote.
No,
you're not.
You're not wrong.
You both wrote both.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah, so to keep things really like in the voice of like us as writers together, we do we try to do chapter by chapter. So
and we try to also look at each other's work and go back through. So like we actually, because we wrote a book on Wattpad, like our first project that we ever wrote together, we wrote chapter by chapter on Wattpad, and we like learned that the way for us, the best way to do it was to kind of like be in each other's business the whole time.
Right.
Like writing and editing. And so we would we kind of generally write and edit each other's work. And that's just like,
yeah. So like it was it's like basically like one of us writes a chapter, then we switch. And then, so we both kind of like add and take away. And it's like, there's one person writing, one person editing.
And it's, you know,
and then we alternate.
It's interesting that you do it that way because the characters each have very unique voices. So the fact that you could jump into each other's space and keep that voice consistent that's amazing. No, it is. It's amazing. I mean, that is a lot of POVs to juggle. So
yeah, and it's with our background, like we both also do some screenwriting, so we try, you know, voice is very important to us. So I think like differentiate. I think this is a great, by the way, if there are any writers watching, I think this is a great exercise to do anyway. In general, like write a little bit from a POV of characters that you're struggling with. Or that you know, maybe all the like main characters, if you, especially if you have an ensemble, because like even if there's only one POV in the book, because it really you can flesh out a voice that way, and then it's really important to have differentiated voice and dialogue anyways. So I don't know. I think that it's like a really good exercise regardless.
Yeah. So can we talk about a little bit about the hotel and your inspiration for the hotel that you used, and a little bit about true crime and what happened there?
Yeah. So I'll start with when I first moved to LA. I moved to LA in 2013, and there was a really big story that had happened that year, and it was that this young woman had disappeared at a hotel and then was found in a what do you call it, like a water tower.
The water tower. And
it was really tragic story, and I think it's like really important to me and to us that that everyone know that we were really inspired by Elisa Lam, the person, not the tragedy, because she was this blogger and she was this really interesting human being, like this, like I think writer in the making. And so her story inspired us, like, and the Cecil Hotel, which is, you want to talk about the Cecil Hotel a little bit?
So the Cecil is fascinating to, like, anybody who lives in Los Angeles, who has ever been downtown, has probably been by the Cecil Hotel. And the first time I ever stayed in downtown, I was very close to the Cecil Hotel in a different haunted hotel. There's a lot of haunted locations in Los Angeles. And the Cecil is this, like, kind of place that holds and has, like, experienced a lot of tragedy. Not just this sort of very well-known case of Elisa Lam and what happened with her, but, you know, Rick Ramirez, who was the Night Stalker, lived there during his time as the Night Stalker, a period of his time. And I think we were both just drawn to this, like, really place that actually draws in tragedy and is a place that's a location of tragedy, and taking, like, these teens there.
It also started as this really glamorous, beautiful hotel that was like, you know, come to LA, you know, Art Deco, you know, gilded age of whatever.
Yeah, it was right off the tracks where people, for travelers.
Then the stock market crashed, you know, 1930s happened. And everything crashed, and then it became this, you know, place where, you know, people now they just decided that it's affordable housing, which is so great, because obviously we know the homelessness population in LA is a huge problem, and so it's become an affordable. It's no longer a hotel, and I think it's the correct fate for the Cecil Hotel is to house the people that live there.
Live in
downtown LA.
In the area.
So, and there's been so many things. Serial killers have, you know, stayed there. I mean, it it was downtown LA is
is an interesting place.
Yeah, and you had all, and like, the Night Stalker, and like what was, as Faith mentioned, this is like a really interesting, I think that it was one of the last places that the Black Dahlia was seen,
Wow.
before she was found.
So to us, like, this location too, taking like Chrissy, who is a psychic who sees and experiences the supernatural or the beyond, to a place where it literally is kind of like living in the walls. And I mean, to me, that's what the Cecil, the real hotel is. We kind of made a fantasy version of that. So it's, we created our own sort of mythos around it.
Yeah.
But it's like, that was the part, like, when we kind of started getting into this, to like, for us, like, that location, that setting is so iconic, but it's also like something that we could create our own world a little bit.
Right.
So.
Right. And it works really well for, their filmmaking, and she has such a visceral experience, like a visceral response to the hotel. Like, you did such a great job doing that, and adding a lot of tension. So the tension really ratchets up inside the group, as things start to get a little freakier. There's a little bit, the group kind of dissolves in certain ways, and there's a really, really nice balance there between the horrors that happened in the hotel, like why they're there and what they're looking for them. And it's a really great testament to the strength of friendship. And somehow in this book, which is, it's maybe 245 pages long, you managed to put 4 POVs, stuff about the blog interspersed within, and then you also managed to add not 1 but 2 romance threads. So when I read this, I thought,
oh my God,
there's like a same-sex romance thread, and there's another romance thread between Chrissy and Chase, and I was like, man, they really packed it in. Like, not a single word is wasted in the book on any fluff, and I want to commend you for that as a debut writing duo, because it was really great, So.
I mean, we love kissing romance. We love like that part of the story. Like, obviously that's
kind of our promise to ourselves. No matter what we write, there will be a romance. This just has to be. and I think we're gonna have to always have a happy end. I don't know. I shouldn't say a happy ending for all, but like, there's got to be at least one. There's got to be a little hope at the end.
But and obviously in Horror Hotel, we have a little bit of a complicated situation for Chrissy and Chase, because there's a wrench thrown in to their romance in the form of a mysterious stranger who she is really drawn to because they have a lot in common, and that plays a big role in it as well. And of course, Chase acts like what he acts like in it, and it's fine. But we love like writing the tension of that relationship developing. We loved writing, and like Emma and Kiki, sort of what happens with them. So
yeah, it's really well done. Can you I know. You keep getting cut off. You gotta like hug each other. There you go. Put your arm around her. Can you tell everybody about the Ghost Gang? Like, what is the Ghost Gang? What do they do? What's their mission? Who's the ringleader?
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Good thing.
I know. So the Ghost Gang, so we have this group of YouTubers. So I don't know how many people like love YouTube as much as we do, but we love YouTube, and they're basically like, they have their own ghost hunting show that's like DIY ghost hunting show. And so Chrissy is the psychic of the group. And do you want to explain? I want you to explain that. Yeah.
So Chrissy is our resident psychic. She is she sees and communicates with the dead, the spirits who have passed on but have not left. And she's also an empath, so she experiences like emotions and inner thoughts, and gets impressions about people who are alive. So this plays a huge role in what she does for the Ghost Gang. And then Chase is the media mogul in the making.
I joke that he's my business partner, or because my business partner is like this like ambitious, like, you know, get the money, get the deal, you know, person. And like he is very much her. She's a she, that's my business partner. And he's just like, he wants his subscribers, he wants his results.
Yeah.
He's very obsessed with getting the right number of subscribers.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, he's it's not to be too spoilery, but he's a little bit of a liar when he tells them what they're getting up to before they get to that hotel. So
because he knows they won't do it. He's like, but we have to. And then we have Emma, who is our like techie genius.
Yeah. Sarcastic. You know, I kind of see her as like Cara, what's her name? Delevingne. And then type, she's like sarcastic and kind of dry. And then Kiki is our like, she's our star. Like, she's a star, and she's like, we kind of see her as like fashion mogul. Like, she kind of dresses up like real cool, like. And she's got
like, that TikTok, whole like supermodel work vibe, right? She's like supermodel work, and the rest of them are like, we are trying to work actually. So if you, you can actually do that, I love that. Be really helpful to the rest of us, Kiki. Her character was super fun.
And Kiki is actually like really, really. She's really smart about social media. She's really smart about like engaging.
She's also scared of her own shadow. So let's throw that in there.
Right.
That like she is at this hotel, like she does this kind of crap, and she's like, "This is terrifying." So,
but she like, and also obviously with any kind of like group like this, you kind of like, especially if you're ghost hunting, you have to have like these elements. You have to have like someone who can kind of see beyond. You have to have. You're like more like focused, like let's get it done. You've got to have a skeptic. You've got to have a scaredy cat. Like those are the things, because that's what the audience wants. And so we really wanted to create
conflict and tension, all that jazz.
Yeah, that you could actually imagine. I would watch the.
It's that Scooby crew. You know, it's that Scooby crew. The Scooby-Doo gang. You know, you need that. I love a Scooby-Doo gang.
I really love it. Like it's so much fun.
Really early in the book, you guys put they have a code. They have a code that they go by, and it's really early in there. And like the first one is never go anywhere alone. And I think you set up really quickly. You know, I'm like, somebody's going somewhere alone. They're totally gonna not do the right thing, you know, majority rules, phones on airplane mode, like all of these things that they're supposed to do. And little by little, the building kind of finds its way into their all of their psyches at one point, and they break those rules. So that was very interesting.
That was very intentional. We really wanted them to, because like obviously you have rules that you're supposed to follow, and these are the things that kind of keep everything in balance.
And they're teenagers.
But they're kids.
They're teenagers going to locations by themselves, like to keep themselves safe. You know, I like to think that like they're gonna have some ground rules for themselves, and but you know,
they've never been anywhere like the Hearst Hotel before. So
and what would a book's not going to be interesting unless we break all the rules.
And it's not like the Ritz. I mean, this is like a dingy, dirty, scary, you know, crummy room that they're staying in, very run down. And the people who run the hotel itself and they're also they're off, like from right out of the gate. They're off, and I'm like, oh. So, and because you have all of these other characters that they're interacting with, it's, you know, it does, as a reader, it did have me questioning, like, okay, what is this person's motivation? What is that person's motivation? Which made the final reveal that much more horrific. And bloody. So, I mean, really, really great job. I don't.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you guys want to tell your readers about the story? Did we get
I
everything?
think you really we got it all in.
Man, we did so good. Well done.
7:26.
Yeah.
Let it be known that I'm a fast
Yeah.
talker.
Wow.
So
You are.
we would love to take questions from you guys about this amazing debut horror novel. And you could just submit them right now, and we're all happy to answer whatever questions you have. Don't be shy.
Let's do it.
Don't be shy.
Don't
Ask
be
us some
shy.
questions.
Don't be shy. Ask us questions about the book.
Oh, Halen said huge
Do it.
feel. Someone said they had a huge feeling that the bellhop was bad. Yeah. What's his name? I forgot his name. What was his name? The son. What's his name?
The bellhop.
Steve.
Steve. Well,
Somebody up here said.
People who work
Somebody
at
up
the
here
hotel.
said because he's hot. I don't know. Oh, Liz Parker. Who's hot?
not Steve. Steve isn't hot.
Definitely not
Ron?
Steve. Maybe she means
So
Chase.
I will say everybody working at the hotel, it's very clear pretty much from the moment they get there that they're not good people. And
No.
the hotel is populated also by inhabitants and people visiting and whatever that are not great. And it's Halloween weekend.
We do have a wonderful janitor, though.
We have a lovely
Yes.
security
Yeah,
guy
really great.
who's a screenwriter.
Security guy.
He's trying to make it in the world, you know?
Yeah.
He's, we have
Oh,
to
she
he
said,
really bonds with
Liz
him.
said the mysterious stranger is hot. Yes, they played him off very
The
hot.
producer is hot.
He is
Yes.
hot.
We wanted to have a hot, mysterious stranger. That was very important to our goals. And we just
Well,
felt like,
because
you know, Christy needed
it created a little bit of a love triangle. And it put it
Yeah.
kind of like knocked Chase off a peg. You know? He was
Yeah.
on a little bit of a high horse, and he needed to come down off that high horse. And what better way to do that than to add a hot
Yeah.
little
He
bit of
also had
competition?
some feelings that were unexpressed, I think. He needed a little competition because he was not expressing himself properly.
Yeah.
Like, say it, buddy. You know how you feel. Say it.
Yeah.
And he was really just
I
kind of being
was
cowardly.
mad at him,
I think.
actually.
Yes, I
Like,
know
I was
you
mad.
were, Demetra.
I was texting Faith, and I was like, I want to punch Chase in the face right now. She's like, what page are you on? So I'd be like, I'm on this page. And because I feel like he took Chrissy for granted because she has this, you know, supernatural ability. And, you know, he was putting the idea that what she was able to, you know, that she was an empath and that she could, you know, commune with the dead, that he put that in their YouTube channel before their friendship and his feelings for her, for like, you know, for a little too long until the hot stranger, as Liz put it, came in.
Until the hot stranger came in and he was like, wait a second.
Yes.
Yeah, you always gotta have, I mean, sometimes it just takes that hot stranger coming in and for your love interest to figure it out.
Yeah.
Get
And
some
I
guts.
think, you know, Chrissy's the star of the show. And I think that he was sort of taking for granted that she's his ticket to getting, you know, the ambitious goals that he wants.
Yeah.
And
The subscribers.
I just think that he was.
He was obsessed
Yeah.
with the subscribers,
think
and
that
then
he
like
didn't want. I just think he didn't want to mess with anything a little bit too, because if he messed with it and she rejected him, what would happen with the Ghost Gang? Like I feel like there was a lot wrapped up in his relationship with Chrissy, and just keeping it the way that it was like the only thing he felt confident in. But at the end of the day, like, you can't, relationships change, and if if you have feelings for somebody, that's going to eventually affect things. So we really like had fun with like building that tension between them until it kind of broke.
Burst.
and it all, you know, it all comes out in that third act the way that it should. And there's quite a few twists there. And I think people who haven't read it are going to love it. And I encourage everybody hasn't read it, who's on here tonight, to buy a copy tonight. There's a link that you can right at the bottom of the screen. And I loved it. I really loved it. So can you tell us what's next for the Ghost Gang?
I mean, I hope that they have other adventures.
I mean, we always imagine them like now that they exist, we always imagine them doing other wild adventures. Hopefully staying together and not.
But we don't know anything yet. So, but hopefully someday there will be more Ghost Gang adventures.
I think your readers are going to want that, actually. And there's plenty of creepy places for them to go and explore.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
mean, we have
no shortage.
There's
no shortage.
We love, so one of the things that Victoria and I love, Victoria and I love to do is go to like haunted locations ourselves. So actually the end of Horror Hotel was written in a very, very nice like hotel here in Los Angeles that has a haunted past.
Yeah, we love to go ghost hunting ourselves. We're amateur ghost hunters. We don't really record things or do it very well, but we've been to a couple of, like, there's the Queen Mary in Long Beach that we love. It's really, actually, they're going to renovate it. It's going to be okay. But that's like a hotel / like, you know, place. And so like we love to go there and ghost hunt. I've been ghost hunting in West Virginia State Penitentiary, which is like a decommissioned penitentiary, former prison. And we love to go places and sneak around. That's kind of the vibe. So
you should actually record one. You should actually record one. Like, I don't know if you do the whole TikTok thing, but like as a video for Instagram, just to give people like a little quick shot into one of the places that you go. I think that'd be really cool.
We also did like a haunted Hollywood tour at like the
the Hollywood Forever. Yeah. We love everything ghostly, and so I mean this is again like we love true crime. I watch Dateline and like true crime, like, you know. So
I watch Dateline.
Everything got smacked. I do. I love it. I mean, but like the thing is, it's just like, I don't know, Unsolved Mysteries, Dateline looks like, you know, who did it, you know?
Why?
But yeah, so like this book is a perfect kind of smash together of like all the things that we like. True crime meets, you know, paranormal, exploration of haunted locations. Like, I don't know. So meets ghost hunting. So, so I think that, we're like, if we like these things, I mean, you know, we think that there are other people that are going to enjoy it too. So.
Speaking of ghosts, it is I, the disembodied voice of Nick. I figured,
Hi, Nick.
let me help with asking the questions because we are up to 8, and I want to make sure we get these before the event ends. So
I can't see them.
So if you click the ask a question button, they pop up. But I can definitely help with the disembodied voice. I want to make sure both Faith and Victoria aren't squished. What is your writing partner's greatest strength? So I guess each one of you can answer that.
Oh God.
Okay, well, she is lightning fast. That is what, I mean, I've never met somebody, like, the least blocked writer that I've ever heard of, like can just sit down and crunch out words, and they're good. Like, you know, like, I don't understand. I don't do that. But maybe you can tell me what I do. I don't know.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Because I am lightning fast and I do really like that part of the process. One of my favorite parts about working with you is that you love to massage the words. You love to find, like, go in and really like you spend time with it and you love that part. And also I think one of the things that you have that has really helped me as a writer just overall is the pushing an idea to it's like keep pushing it until you get
I wish I could just
moment.
come up with ideas all day long, to be honest with you.
So idea, like I feel like you are definitely an idea machine, and like I'm a word machine. You're an idea
a word
machine.
Yeah, it's like it's practically a compulsion. I've never seen anything like it. Like
it actually is slightly compulsive.
It is.
I love.
That's a good partnership, right?
Yeah,
we like it.
We
have fun.
Someone else asked, have either of you ever seen a ghost?
That's a loaded question. Okay. Yes. Well, I have never seen one. I have felt them, but this one is a little bit of psychic medium.
I've seen a lot.
And just sees ghosts all the time.
I see a lot.
Just kind of what she does.
That helps.
Kind of like obviously Chrissy.
That helps.
That helps. Obviously, Chrissy has this sort of like haunted child thing. She was kind of a haunted child, and that kind of comes very much. I very much relate to that experience. I would definitely call myself a bit of a haunted child, and grew up seeing ghosts I grew up in like a farmhouse in Texas on acreage, and it was super haunted. I just saw them all the time. I would tell people, like I actually had a friend who did like never wanted to come over to my house again because I told her that there was a dead body buried under there, and I had a ghost that lived in my closet as a child, that I kept telling my parents, like, there's a man, he just sits there by the attic, like, crawl space. And my parents were like, no. And later we found out that somebody had actually died in that closet. So, I've seen a lot.
Wow.
So
don't want to be in her brain.
No.
But what I will say is what's great about it is, when we were house hunting, I knew if some place was haunted, so that helped.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have you come down here. Person. I swear this house has got some weird energy. I'm gonna invite you down for dinner. It definitely does.
I like to go to the house and tell them
do a clearing.
It's haunted.
Yeah,
and then
we
do
talk,
a clearing. And I do. I've done clearings.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good
That's
at
amazing. Somebody else asked, if you could have total knowledge and complete understanding of one thing, what would it be?
Wow.
I know. Thanks, Ashley.
Knowledge.
That is an amazing question. Well, I will say this telescope that's going out into the universe right now to like see the beginning of time. That sounds nice. I really just want to know. I just want to know, like, is there an afterlife? I think I want to know. I think that's been my existential crisis right now at like 2 or 3 in the morning every night.
Oh no!
I'm like, is there an afterlife? And I just want to know. I just want to know, so I can prepare either way. So maybe and that goes with the theme of the book. So I guess
I don't want to know that. I don't feel like I need that answered. I would love to understand math.
That's hilarious. Math,
it does go with the space.
Maths are hard for writers. It's not our forte.
Somebody tell me how to do.
I'll teach you math. I'm a former chemical engineer. I can sit you
down
and
teach you some
calculus.
So I'll speak about the afterlife. You teach me math.
There we go.
There we go. We got it solved.
Well, you get a little bit of immortality by writing a book, I think. So don't worry. Don't fret too much on that one. Don't let that one keep you up too much at night.
Thank you.
What inspired y'all? This is definitely a Southerner. I love the y'all. What inspired y'all the most about Elisa's life story? One of your people.
So Elisa is, I feel like, we both did a lot of research on Elisa, but I like kind of started to look at her stuff. Like, so she had this sort of Tumblr blog called Nouveau Nouvelle. And she basically had these little posts, and she has, and I like don't have it memorized, but she has this beautiful quote about the human condition, and like, and just all of her posts were, because she talked a lot about mental illness and mental health and being in school and trying to do life. And she was just a writer in the making, and you could feel it in the way she wrote about her life. And I think what inspired me the most about her was just her outlook on life, and just her kind of struggle I very much relate to her struggle to feel like it. The quote that I love is basically about feeling like she's up to very big things in the world, but then also like a flicker in the universe at the same time. And that and the struggle to come to terms with those two truths. And it is, I totally botched it there, but it is my favorite thing I think anyone's ever written, because I feel like as artists, like I get that. Like, so I don't know if that's really an answer to the question, but I just love the way she thought.
I agree. I think that is so much what inspired us about her. I mean, it's always really painful to see somebody who was that really, really full of potential and something not great, like horrible happening to them. But I think that we also don't want to think about it just like that. Like she left an impact.
She so meaningful.
Wasn't meaningless. Like her existence did matter, and it matters to us now. And this is so many years later, she had an impact on us.
And the one little other thing I want to add is that like that idea of like not reaching your potential as an artist, we both have struggled with that. Like just the idea that you won't get to do everything that you want to do. I think that's not even art. That's just life. Yeah. Humans want to meet their potential before and you can be 90 and not really feel like you've met your potential. It doesn't matter when you pass, but I just think that's the fear. And I just think that she captured that very beautifully in her work.
She did. Yeah. And she became a cautionary tale for a lot of young women, who I think that, if you're not from Southern California, or you haven't lived in, or, visited Los Angeles, what you see on television can be so shiny and beautiful, but the area where that hotel is, it's not a place for a young woman alone to be hanging out.
I wouldn't say anyone alone, really. I wouldn't go down. I don't think it's down there alone.
It's kind of like, driving down there is not great either. But hopefully, like the city does some things to like starting with the Cecil becoming affordable housing. There are things that can be done hopefully to rectify some of those issues.
I will say also, downtown Los Angeles has that grittiness to it. It obviously has that. It has a lot of darkness. It has a lot of haunted locations, but it also has this like these beautiful deco buildings and this kind of magic that is so Los Angeles. And it's also full of creative people doing creative things. And so I feel like LA in general is like, it's both. It's this shiny, beautiful, powerful, like creative place that's also gritty and dark and mysterious. And I think that's why we love Los Angeles.
There's a dark side, and and it's a tragic dark side, but there is so much interesting about LA, and like we do love all the aspects and elements, and we do hope that they house the homeless.
Yeah, so I would say that if anybody, any of your readers are local, or can drive into Los Angeles, to maybe not go to that particular location by yourself. So take some caution there if you're going to go. But it is worth seeing. It's very close to a wonderful bookstore, the last bookstore, and it's also adjacent to the financial district, right? So it has this weird area, and then it's all the financial districks. So
that's public library down here, really, really close to the Cecil. There's just there's some really, really great restaurants down there, some really beautiful parks as well. So I mean, but of course, like, yeah, I mean, we were inspired by Los Angeles. We've both always been inspired by Los Angeles.
Yeah, I love the city.
We love it.
How long have you both lived in Los Angeles? Can you tell us that?
I think I'm going on 9 years this year. It's in June.
And I've been here for almost 5 in May, end of May.
Don't leave.
Crazy.
Never
We
leave.
don't. We're not.
I'm not leaving.
Like,
I love this
we're
place.
Like, we can't.
I feel very ground rooted here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
me
got here and we're
too.
like,
Me too.
we're leaving.
I was like, I'm never going back to the snow again. So I think, oh, never again, never shoveling again. I think this is a wonderful book. I think everybody should order a copy. I hope you guys get to write more about the Ghost Gang. I could totally see this being a series. I don't know who I got to send an email to make that happen, but everybody, if there's any other questions that they didn't cover, there were a few in here that got covered. Have they ever gone ghost hunting? Yes. Which character was the most fun to write? We talked about juggling all the POVs, and I think we hit everything. So I think that's it for tonight, guys, and congratulations on your debut.
Thank you.
Yay, congratulations. Lastly, though, where can everyone find you on the social media so they can keep following on what's coming up next?
Yeah. So on every social, I'm pretty sure we are Victoria X Face.
Yep. Victoria X Face.
Pretty easy. Hopefully.
Easy.
I put it right here.
And for those of you who haven't yet bought the book, but they are still going to do it, don't forget, you get a signed and or personalized plate, book plate for this. Just make sure you put in the comments section, sign only, or what your personalization is going to be. If you missed our event or you tuned in too late, you can always rewatch it here at the Crowdcast link, or we will actually archive this on our YouTube channel, Mysterious Galaxy YouTube. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Demetra, thank you so much for being a conversation
You're
partner.
so
You're
welcome.
wonderful.
And YouTube is so apropos
Thank
for
you
this
so much, Demetra.
particular thing, you know?
Right? Oh, man, maybe you should do a late night
yeah.
ghost hunt here at the bookstore.
Love it.
Maybe next
I'm like,
book.
let's do that.
You,
Yeah.
Let's do
your
that.
people can talk to our people. We'll think of something.
Perfect.
We
I like
will do it. We'll be in touch.
Thank you,
Excellent.
Mysterious Galaxy.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
everyone.
Thanks for inviting
Bye.
me. It was really fun.
Bye, Demetra.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thanks
Good
for watching.
night.